The life of Bougainville secessionist leader, Late Theodore Miriung. Theodore Miriung was an ordinary village boy who was born in 1941 and brought up in Poma village of Kieta district in present-day central Bougainville. His education career began in Tunuru Catholic Mission and Chabai North Bougainville. In 1996 to 1969, Theodore studied for the priesthood in St. Peter Channel Seminary in Ulapia and left to work for mining at Panguna. Late 1969 to 1973, he enrolled at the University of Papua New Guinea and studied law and admitted to the bar on 1974. In 1975 he returned to Bougainville and was running private legal practice in Arawa until 1976 when he joined the public service, rising through the ranks as Provincial Legal Officer, Bougainville Provincial Secretary, Chief PNG Land Titles Commissioner. Miriung married to his wife, Veronica from Suwai, South Bougainville, who gave birth to 2 children, Lorraine and Justin. In 1988, he was an acting National Court judge when the war on Bougainville broke out. When the rest of the Bougainville elites were fleeing Bougainville in search for security, Theodore decided to drop his job and humbly return to Bougainville to face all the odds of the crisis together with his family and the people. In 1991, he was reported to have advised the Bougainville Revolution Army on their planned Bougainville interim government and constantly been the rebels' legal advisor. Although some disputes have distanced Theodore to his involvement with Bougainville Revolution Army, he was reportedly remained in contact with the rebels' top hierarchy. In 1994, Theodore successfully established the peace zone in North Nasioi. Following that, Theodore and Julius Chan, who was the PNG Prime Minister by then, signed a Untitled Charter which gave birth to the Bougainville Transitional Government to replace North Solomon Provincial Government, which got suspended in 1990. In the 10th of April 1995, the Bougainville Transitional Government Assembly met and elected Theodore Miriung as the Premier. Miriung, as the Premier, spearheaded the peace negotiations between Bougainville Revolution Army and PNG, but oftentimes he got suspected by both sides. Bougainville Revolution Army regarded Bougainville Transitional Government as the puppet government of PNG, and the PNG government suspected Miriung of working with the rebels, thus PNG Defence Force often restricted his movements. Miriung, during his tenure, condemned PNG for attempting to solve the Bougainville conflict through the military offensive killings. On the 5th of October 1996, Miriung was given a lift by a chartered chopper by PNG Defence Force from Buka, the government base, to his family home in Suwai. A week later, on the 12th of October, he was assassinated at the age of 55 whilst having dinner with his family. He was reported to have been assassinated by at least 2 assassins, with an autopsy finding 6 wounds in his back from automatic gunfire and 1 from a shotgun blast. Miriung was told to have died with the food still in his mouth. After his death, the Commission of Inquiry was established and was fronted by former retired Sri Lankan judge. The report to the inquiry was compiled, however a section of it was only put out for public. The full report was never made public, even Miriung's family never received a copy up till today. The inside sources have outlined that the inquiry have found out that 1. PNGDF conjunction with CY resistance allies were involved. 2. Some senior people in PNG were involved in the assassination. And finally, at least 6 people were found guilty and were not prosecuted. In November 2019, with independence referendum drawing attention for international community on Bougainville, Miriung family once again called for the full report of their father. Late Kieta, member for Central Bougainville by then, also supported the concern and raised it at the floor of the PNG Parliament, and the Prime Minister by then pledged to investigate the issue. Late Theodore Miriung was a man of honour whom his principles continue to influence and inspire the people of Bougainville today. He is the living death who will never be forgotten in the Bougainville history. He was the Bougainville secessionist leader who truly lived up to his words. At the time of his reign, he was quoted as saying, "If you have a mission, you have to accept it, even if it cost life." Late Theodore Miriung, Bougainville's peace champion who could have been the Nelson Mandela for Bougainville, was truly the man of substance who lived up to his words.